This video is going to make your clothing brand ads insanely fucking profitable, okay? And the question is, why should you spend your next 10 minutes listening to me, okay? Well, my name is Cho, I'm 20 years old, and I used to run a marketing agency 4 years ago. Now we run a consulting business where we have worked with over 150 clothing brands and scaling them with ads. And I like to say we have quite a good experience with ads, okay? We have worked with industry leaders, clothing brand leaders like Anna Michelle, scaled it from 0 to 35, St. P from 0 to 40, Bremer from 0 to 10 in 2 months, and Flower 100K a month plus with our systems, all right? Now, I'm going to show you these 18 ad secrets that nobody talks about, and if you just take one and apply it to what you're doing with ads, I can guarantee you that it's going to be 10 times better. And last two of this is the most important, and it will completely change how you run, operate, and scale your ads. So let's go through them one by one. All right. Number one is you always want to set an emergency ad budget aside, right? An ad budget you are comfortable losing money, okay? You never want to run ads where you're in a notion of, for example, you have your last $500 in your savings and you run that and you have to make $2,000 back. If you have that, you're going to make decisions of your emotions. We're all humans, okay? We're very emotional creatures, okay? So this is a business decision, so you always want to make decisions of logic and KPI and numbers, right? So always set a budget aside. Okay, how much would I want to spend on ads this month where I'm okay losing money with, that I'm completely fine and it won't affect me at all, right? That is a budget where you want to go off of. So if that's, for example, $300 a month, right? That's your budget, okay? Scale if profitable, okay? So that's number one. Number two, your ad data should always be compared to your old ad data, okay? It's like your brain with limiting belief, okay? Let's just say you've never hit a, let's just say you've never hit a hole in one before, right? You've never played golf before, right? I can't ask you to just hit a hole in one all of a sudden, right? You need to learn how to grip, you practice in the driving range, learn how to hit the ball, right? You slowly, gradually get better. That's the same principle with your ad account, okay? Your ad data should always compare. For example, if you've never hit like a 20x rise before inside your ad account, you've never been profitable, right? Just because you do this one little thing, you think it's going to 10x a thing. No, it's small incremental changes. And I always want you to develop your wins, always compare your wins to your past data, okay? That is super important, and not many people actually talk about this, which I think you should consider. Number three, your biggest focus as a brand owner when scaling should be 85% of new concept creatives and 15% creative iterations from winners, not the other way around. I see so many brands still stuck on this path where 85% they just try to make iteration of creatives, and that's where the fatigue comes, especially with this new Facebook update where it just sort of changed the whole scope, the new AI system, and just much smarter, letting Facebook handle everything, right? Most of our ad accounts now, we've completely switched it. Obviously 3 years ago where you would have 15% new concept, 85% iteration, but now it's switched. So in your ad account, all of your ads, 85% of it should be you testing new stuff, okay? Number four, if you have a well-engaged community on your Instagram content, your ad succeeding will be 10 times easier. So before you even think about running ads, or if your ads are not even working and you're running, go back to the very start of your buyer's journey, which is going to be on Instagram, especially if you're in the gym niche, streetwear niche, those very popular clothing niche, right? Before you make sure you optimize your page profile, right? If the first perceived outlook, right? If someone wants to come into your page and look at it, do I see trust, right? Does it speak an emotional trigger to them, right? Does it speak to them? Is it relatable to them, right? That's the thing that we want to see in your profile, right? Top of funnel traffic, right? Is your reels, consistent reels, right? Are you posting consistently? Is that bringing you eyeballs through Instagram organically, right? And is there a community engaged already? Because I can guarantee you, if you have an ad problem, half of the time it's actually the first funnel problem, which is your organic marketing, right? The page optimization, the ability to build trust. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to buy just through your ads once. They're actually going to check your Instagram page, they're going to check your website and do their due diligence, believe it or not. Now, number five, you have to understand the e-com cycle, okay? CPM, obviously you know, cost per millions, cost per thousand impression, right? Advertising cost, right? It's going to fluctuate, meaning CPM is obviously going to be highest during November to December, right? So it's like this, because of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, people have their credit cards out, it's holidays, And then it's also going to decrease on January, February, where many people are saving from the holidays, don't like to spend that much, right? So you have to understand this in terms of when to put your offer out, when to put sales, when to put discounts, right? And most importantly, when to actually really go heavy on scale. Believe it or not, if you don't have offers, if you don't have a good discount or whatever it is at your value proposition, you're going to have a very hard time when the CPM is the highest, because a lot of the big brands are spending more money, right? That's why the CPM is increasing. Number 6, this is a real big one. Sale isn't the only metric you look at to have a successful ad, okay? Especially if your ad account is new, right? Look at Instagram growth, creative optimization. You need data to improve this aspect, right? As long as you know what KPIs you're looking for and you have an understanding of what creatives to build off of, that is a huge win, right? Because not only is it just sales, you're building your ad account data the right way. Number 7, if you have lots of products in your brand, do not run ads on all of them. For example, you have like 25 different, hoodies, sweaters, all that type of stuff. Only choose the proven products, top 4 best-selling products, right? Focus on, with your whole point of the ad account, it's like an amplifier. You shouldn't be focused on product, finding the winning product, right? Focus on finding concepts of creatives and concepts of angles that work inside the ad account, because products, you can figure that out in the organic through the engagement and your already sales that's coming in, and you can sort of tell through the engagement and the organic sales already, because ad acquisition should solely just be becoming scale, right? And to find scale, we need to find 2 things: a messaging angle that speaks directly to your ICP pain point, and number 2, a concept of creative that really works and resonates well. Okay, so if you have lots of products, do not try to figure that out yourself with the organic marketing, right? Through the engagement. It doesn't necessarily have to be sales. Number 8, this is my favorite thing, okay? Scale through statics first, then use the concepts that work in the static into video assets. And the reason for this is 2 things. Volume and speed is key in your new ad account, especially when you're first scaling to that 10,000, 15, 20,000, because again, what did I say? The first thing that we need to find out is angles that work, right? So we do that through static because you can make them so cheap, you can make them so fast at a high quality, right? So for example, if we worked out a static angle targeting XYZ pain point and it works really well in a comparison ad, right, we will take that angle into a video asset, right? Because obviously videos are more effective in terms of long form engagement, or everything, right? There's a whole story to that, right? But when you're first scaling, you can always do it with static ads, right? Video can always come later. I see so many people flip that around where they're so invested into making this one really good video. Again, I'd rather you have 20 decently good static ads and one really, really, really fucking good video if you're a new clothing brand, okay? Because you need volume and creative diversity around your ad account. Cool. Number 9, trust is everything. So easy to start a brand. Even, I put this on my story the other day. There's literally more brands coming up than kids being born, okay? Meaning, trust is in an all-time low because there are so many brands that scam, all right? So, the first thing that you need to do is represent this through every buyer's journey leading to the ads. So from your ads to your product page, checkout, profile page, etc., right? Should convey trust. How do you convey trust, right? Guarantees, shippings, and most importantly, your quality of creatives. Because again, if you just have, for example, a brand that just uses AI and have 500 followers, or a brand B that has high quality creatives, photo shoots, everything with proper cameras, for example, right? And same followers, right? What brand are you gonna trust more? Obviously, the one that uses real human beings, right? So trust is everything. Number 10, the 3 most important metrics to understand to see if a creative is doing well. And there's a lot of metrics in Meta, I understand, but if you're sort of a beginner when you actually look into the ad, these are 3 things you should really look at. Purchase conversion spread. So every 1 purchase, you should look at 6 add to carts and 3 checkouts in this shit, okay? If it doesn't follow that flow, it might be a website issue. For example, if it has 12 add to carts and 0 purchase, right? Because technically we should have 2, right? Click-through rate, again, sort of going back to my earlier points, you always want to put in comparison to your other campaigns and ads. Again, CPM, how expensive the ads are running. Number 11, do not try and make creatives of your imagination, right? Take heavy inspiration from your competitors, right? sorry, but you are not a creative genius, all right? Everything that you see that you think is cool is probably copied in somewhat way. So use that, right? Don't try to make new ads yourself. Always use it as an inspiration base. Make it better and reiterate. I'm not saying copy it exactly, okay? But I see so many brands that I see just do their own shit. Don't do your own shit. You're not that special, okay? Now, number 12, go broad on your audience. I put 99%, but just go broad on your audience 100% of the time, right? Trust Facebook, please. It is much smarter than us, especially in 2025 and 2026 onwards, right? Small interest, detailed targeting is dead. Everything is within the creatives, meaning if you want to specifically target a highly small portion of people, you add that in the creative, and Facebook's going to figure that out for you instead of putting in the thing, right? Broad has worked 100%, just way better, okay? 13, do not scale through different locations and countries if you have not been profitable through your own country first. So for example, if you're a USA brand and you feel as though, oh, it's winter here, now I'm going to try Australia because it's summer. No, figure your country out first and then move, okay? That is so dumb, okay? Number 14, if you're finding your ROAS dropping every time you try to scale, you need to up your creative volume in new concepts. You cannot be right. If your ad account is doing well and you see ad fatigue, but every single purchase is coming from one creative, that is a huge problem because I'm sorry, my friend, ad fatigue exists, right? You cannot be relying on that one creative. Scale through creatives, not volume in the ad budget, okay? Number 15, understand creative fatigue is normal. Nothing lasts forever in life, unfortunately, and that is also the beauty of it, okay? Do not stress, okay? Your winning creative at this time where you spend $10,000 and getting 10 extra hours will eventually drop if you don't test new concepts every single week, okay? This is why you need two systems, which, hint, I'm sort of gonna go into, okay? 16, this is huge. Turn Advantage Plus Creative off. They're not good just yet, who knows, right? Facebook just wants you to use them, triple check they're off because sometimes they turn it back on order, like the music, this stuff. So make sure this is in the ad level or ad account, so make sure everything's turned off, okay? Number 17, simple ad structure wins every time. Do not overcomplicate this. One CBO campaign, one ad set, and then inside ad set, 5 to 20 different creatives, angles, and concepts, okay? That's sort of your testing structure. After that, you sort of want two different pipelines. One campaign for winning creative iteration that you found working in that first campaign, and the second for testing, because I've mentioned so many points here, nothing lasts forever. So you always want to find new concept, new angles that you can always test inside your ad account, okay? Screenshot this, use this, okay? This is sort of like a metric Bible where you sort of compare. Click-through rate below 1%, it's bad. Cost per click about $2, bad. Add to cart 6%, 3%. ROAS, frequency, sort of use this because this is sort of like a logical, very good e-com ad account creative, right? So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram and I'm happy to help you out. But most importantly, hope you got some value out of it because if not, you just wasted your time and my time.